Hi everyone, welcome to a beginner's yoga session. So I'm going to assume that you've never done any sort of yoga whatsoever. So we're going to start off today by looking at the different poses that comprise Sun Salutation A. And you'll come across this quite a lot if you go to any yoga class in the studio. But we're going to start off today standing. So making sure that your feet are together. You want your big toes touching. Find a little bit of a lift behind the navel, and we'll bring the hands down by the sides. And close the eyes just for a moment or two. Make sure that you can feel the feet on the floor. And just double check that you're not standing on one foot more than the other. So even out the weight between the 2 feet. And start to let the breath get deeper. So breathing in and out through the nose. Making sure that you allow the lungs to fill up as you inhale and completely empty out as you exhale. And still standing with the eyes closed. See if you can get that feeling of length through the spine. So imagining the crown of the head growing taller and at the same time the chin ever so slightly tilting down just a little bit to come towards the chest. And then we'll bring the hands up in front of the chest in a prayer position. And blink open the eyes. Really nice. So we're going to come to the top of the mat. If you don't have a mat yet, that's fine. You can probably do it without it. Just be careful, it might be a little bit slippery when we do things on the hands. But we're going to start off standing, so the mat is lengthways. You're at the top of the mat. And again, get that feeling of grounding down through both feet. And each movement of the Sun Salutation goes with either an inhale or an exhale. But we're going to go through it really, really slowly, so don't worry too much about that to begin with. So the first posture is the one we're doing, standing tall, hands down by the sides. You might find if you twist the little fingers in just a little bit, it gives you a bit more of an opening through the collarbones. And then as you breathe in, we're going to raise the arms up. I don't have space because there's a wall next to me. Up towards the sky. So hands are in the air. You can have the hands in a prayer position, or if it's more comfortable for your shoulders, you can leave them open wide. Or if this is causing stress as well, you can always open the elbows out so that you're really getting that opening through the chest and collarbones, which is what we want. So wherever the arms are, you're lifting up out the waist, maybe finding a little bit of a back bend. And then as you exhale, we'll bring the hands down towards the floor. So let the knees bend and bend them enough so that you can touch the floor really comfortably. And then shake out the head. Make sure that you're not holding in the neck. And then get that feeling that you're tipping more weight into the front of the foot. We're going to stay here for a little while just to release the hamstrings. So take hold of opposite elbows. Maybe sway left to right. If the balance is a problem, you can always take the feet a little bit wider apart just for now. Really let the body relax over the legs. Again, keep the knees bent, even if it's just a tiny bit. Really nice. Now the next posture in the Sun Salutation is a halfway lift. So what you want is to straighten out the back. Again, the hands can come up if you need to, but you want that straightness down the back, the lift up from behind the belly. Hands are wherever they're comfortable. And then the next posture is we're going to place the hands on the floor and then step, or if you're feeling bouncy, you can jump into a high plank. Now we're going to hold it here. If it gets too much, you can always drop your knees, so don't worry at all about that. Wrists are under the shoulders. You've got, again, that broadness through the collarbones and a pull up from behind the belly. You're looking about a foot ahead of you on the floor. Take one more breath here, really strong, straight legs. And then drop the knees to the floor, if you haven't already. And then bend the elbows backwards so that you're coming to lie down on your front. This is where I notice how dirty my floor is. Push down through the tops of your feet and lift the chest just a little bit off the floor. So you want the feeling of the shoulders drawing back away from the ears, elbows coming together, push down through the pelvis. This is Cobra. And again, you're looking straight, back of the head is long. And if you want to really use the back muscles, just for now, wiggle the fingers, take the hands off the floor. Lovely. And then on your exhale, push into the hands, come up onto all fours, tuck your toes, and we'll come into downward facing dog. So this posture comes up quite a lot in yoga. So if you've not done yoga before, your hands are about shoulder width apart, you're spreading through the fingers, and then the feet are about hip distance apart. So what I see a lot in classes is people in this position. So really draw the chest back towards the legs. And if the hamstrings don't allow for this, you can always soften the knees a little bit. Please don't be afraid ever to soften the knees. So pedal out the heels just for now, we're still warming up. And get that feeling that you're pushing the floor away with the hands. Finding some stillness now here in downward facing dog. Get that feeling of the tailbone lifting up towards the sky. And at the same time, the heels coming down towards the floor. Really, really good. Okay, looking forwards now, softening the knees. You want to step or jump the feet up to the hands. So however you like, as long as the feet come back up towards the top of the mat. Feet are together. So now we're doing the ones we've done before, finding that halfway lift. And then as you exhale, the standing forward bend. And then as you inhale, bring the hands all the way up. Maybe you're arching back slightly. And then as you exhale, bring the hands back down where we started. So that was a sun salutation A. So I'll do it a few times with the breath, but again, please take your own time and go with your own breath. And then eventually you can go at your own rhythm. So again, standing tall, hands by the side, pull in behind the belly. As you inhale, reach the arms up, look towards the thumbs. Exhale, bowing forwards, hands down towards the floor. You can bend your knees. Inhale, find that halfway lift, however you like. And then exhale, hands down, step or jump to a high plank. And then drop the knees and lower all the way down onto your belly. And then inhale to your cobra, elbows are in. And then exhale, push up over the hands, over the knees. Come back to down dog. And we stay here for 5 breaths. So if you find down dog is a little bit too much, sometimes the wrists really take a pounding. Make sure you're spreading through the fingers and you're pushing down through the index finger base knuckle. If this is still too much, you can always drop your knees and rest in all fours. Or there's another option which is quite nice, child's pose. Take the knees wide, big toes touch, bum towards the heels, and let your head rest on the mat. So that's a lovely alternative to down dog whenever you want to take it. So taking one more breath wherever you've chosen to be, down dog, child's pose or all fours. And then when you get to the end of the exhale, make sure you're back here in this position, downward facing dog, and then look forward, soften the knees, step, or maybe give it a go. Try jumping the feet up to the hands, halfway lift, exhale, forward bend. Inhale, reaching up, and we'll go straight into the next one. Exhale, diving forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, try jumping maybe if you're feeling bouncy, and then lowering down. Inhale, cobra, keep the back of the neck long. Exhale, downward facing dog, taking a few breaths here. So in down dog, just double check that the big toes are ever so slightly turning in towards the center line of the mat. Just a little bit. Find that lifting in action from behind the belly as well, and keep working the chest towards the legs. One more inhale. One more exhale. And when you finish breathing out, look forwards. Soften the knees, step or bounce, feet to hands, halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, standing tall. And then exhale, come to stand with your hands in front of your chest. Namaste. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, any comments or feedback, please do write them in the box. We're trying to get a feel of what you'd like more or less of. Thanks.